Alrighty, we're going to get started with our Placester 201 class today. That's our more advanced Placester class where we get into some of the more fun stuff like custom pages and blogging and testimonials and area pages. If you're having trouble, well, I guess you wouldn't be able to hear this. This class will be recorded along with all of our other Placester 101 and 201 classes at slmtraining.com, and I should hopefully have it up there within just a couple of minutes. I'm going to send another message over here for people that are having trouble listening. They can call in and use their phone instead of their computer speakers. And then one other warning before we get started is that if you're using Microsoft Internet Explorer, you're going to have to change browsers. The Placester interface will not load in Microsoft Internet Explorer. You have to use a more modern browser like Microsoft Edge if you're using Windows 10, or if you're on Windows 7 or 8, you would want to use you'd want to use Firefox or Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox or Google Chrome. If you're on a Mac, Safari works just fine. It's just Internet Explorer will not load the Placester interface. Okay, gonna minimize our slideshow here and switch over to our MyKW page. Okay, so to edit our Placester website, and we covered this in our Placester 101 class, but I'll go back over it real quick. To edit our Placester website, we're going to actually do that through our mykw.kw.com homepage. You do not edit your Placester site by logging directly into the site using the login button on the site. You actually access it through MyKW. So if you're not already logged into mykw.kw.com, go ahead and get logged into your homepage. I'll give you guys just a second to do that. And I see a couple more people join, so I'm going to resend the message about listening via phone so that they can make sure to get that. I do get a question about that every once in a while. Once you're logged into your mykw.kw.com homepage, up in our top black menu, we're going to hover over Technology, and then we'll click on KW Websites. It should be the third one down. And then on this page, there should be a big red Go to My Website button. If you don't have this button, refer back to our Placester 101 course, which explains how to get this button. We can't do anything about having this button during the course of this class, so you're going to want to refer back to our Placester 101 class for instructions about how to get this button so you can edit your website. You would also want to refer back to Placester 101 to set up the basics of your website, whereas this is the advanced class. Since we have this button, we're going to click on Go to My Website. And I apologize about the speed. I'm not sure what's going on with Placester. There we go. Come on. It may take a minute or two for it to load your site. Okay, so we're here in the Placester interface, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see better. Here in the Placester interface, we're going to be on the dashboard. Today we're going to be working in pages and blogs and everything. So over on the left under Quick Actions, we're going to click on Edit Site. And then we're going to start here in Site Settings. Placester 101 left off here at Lead Capture. That was the last thing covered in Placester 101. So if you want to learn about the rest of this page, check out Placester 101. Now we're going to pick up here at Custom Domain. This is where you can either change the address of your site. You can change the part before .kw.com here, or if you're in Canada, .kellerwilliamsrealty.ca. You can change that first part kind of as you wish, as long as it's available. You can change that by clicking on Edit over on the right, and then you would type in what you want for that first part to be. So I could change this to like Scott Leroy, and then you would want to check availability just underneath that. And if it turns green and it tells you it's available, from that point you can scroll down and click Save to apply that, and that would be your new website address. One big word of caution about changing your website address. If you change it, the previous address will not redirect to this new address. So say I had scottleroymarketing.kw.com printed on my business cards, and I removed the marketing part. I changed it to Scott Leroy like I've done here on the page here. Anybody who went to scottleroymarketing.kw.com would just be redirected to the main kw.com homepage. They would not see my website. So if you change this address, make sure that it wasn't already printed on any marketing materials. The other way you can change your address is by purchasing a custom domain through a domain registrar like GoDaddy or KW Domain Store or Google Domains, and you can use that custom domain as your website's address instead of the .kw.com address. And that's pretty easy to do. Placester right here has step-by-step help articles to show you exactly how to connect your custom domain to your KW website. However, we have a free service through your Market Center subscription where we can actually get your domain connected to your website for you. I'm going to send you guys the link to do that here in the chat window. It's again a free resource through your Market Center subscription. If your Market Center is subscribed to our services, we can get that taken care of for you for free through that form that I just sent you there. And then also, if you're curious about getting a custom domain but you're not sure where to start, we have a link here for a 99cent.com domain from GoDaddy for the first year. Now it would be regular price after that first year, but for the first year it's going to start at 99 cents. And then after that, regular price actually isn't too crazy. It's somewhere between usually $10 and $20 per year, not even per month. That's for the whole year. And you can do it for maybe 3 years out and not have to worry about it for a couple years. So if you're interested in having that custom domain, definitely check out those 2 links that I just sent you. And if you're watching this on a recording in the future, just send us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com and we can get you those links. If you have changed your address and it is available, you can click on Save down here to apply that change. I'm just going to go up here and dismiss this because I don't actually want to change this domain. And if I do dismiss it after I made a change, it's going to ask me to confirm that I want to continue without saving the change. I do want to continue. Dropping down here, excuse me, to site tracking, this is where you can add Google Analytics to your site as well as Facebook pixel tracking to your site. We're going to ignore this center section, this Google conversion tracking, because that has to do with AdWords, and we're not really going to cover that here. We're just going to cover the Google Analytics and the Facebook pixel. Google Analytics is a free analytics tracking service for what people are doing on your site. It'll tell you how many times your site was visited in a certain time period, how long people were on your site, which pages they looked at on your site, how they found your site, whether it was on a search engine or if they typed the address directly. What analytics will not show you is who was on your site. You'll get no contact information through Google Analytics, no names, no phone numbers, no email addresses. It just tells you what was done on your site, not who. And that's really easy to set up. You go over to Google Analytics, which is analytics.google.com, and set up your analytics account, and you can do that under any existing Google account. So it can be your KW email, it can be a regular Gmail. If you've got another G Suite account, maybe through your team or through your custom domain, you can set up Google Analytics under that as well. Once you set up Google Analytics, it's going to provide a tracking ID for you that looks like this, UA-number, and you're going to copy and paste that tracking ID into this box. Now, if you're unsure about how to set up Google Analytics, great news, we have a free service where we can set up Google Analytics for you really easily. Where is that? We can set up Google Analytics for you. I'm going to send you the link to where we can do that. Again, that's free through your Market Center subscription, so you don't have to worry about all the finagling and figuring out how to set up Google Analytics. Scrolling down to the bottom, we've got our Facebook pixel tracking. Pixel is, if you're paying for ads on Facebook, you can track what the people who clicked on your ads on Facebook are doing on your site, and this will track who is on your site and what they're doing. Because they came through that Facebook ad, it keeps track of who was logged into Facebook when that ad was clicked on, and when they get over to your site, it'll tell you who and what they did. Once you set up Facebook Pixel in your Facebook account, it would be in your ads account. You can either paste in your Pixel ID right here, or you can send that Pixel ID over to us and include your MyKW username and password, and we can get that Pixel ID put in place right here for you as well. You would send that to support@scottleroymarketing.com. Once you've got either or both of those in there, or if you know about Google conversion tracking, you want to track that, you can put those in there and make sure to click Save down at the bottom to apply your changes. Under that, we've got site verification. This is verifying that you are the actual owner of this site and you have the ability to make specific changes that these websites are requiring in order to verify that you do own the site. Google and Bing Webmaster Tools are search engine optimization tools. Google and Bing provide tools for free that you can use to improve the search engine ranking on your website. Google has their own set of tools, Bing has their own set of tools. We can set up Google Webmaster Tools for you, but if you know how to do that yourself, you're welcome to, but we can set it up for you. I'm going to send you guys the link for that, theoretically. There it is. It's pretty easy. You set up your Webmaster Tools account, again, under any existing Google account. You don't have to create a new account. And it's going to provide a code snippet that needs to be added to your site. And you would paste the part after content right there into this box and then leave out the part after that. If you guys are unsure about how to do that, we can get that added for you. Bing and Pinterest, we can't actually add for you unless for Bing you send over this whole code and we can just paste that in the box there. We just can't set up the Bing Webmaster Tools account for you. And then also for Pinterest, this is having you verify that you own this site so that it can be linked on your Pinterest business page. You can create a business page on Pinterest, and in order to show the link to your website on your Pinterest business page, you need to verify it using this same method. So if you need some more help with that, feel free to shoot us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com. We can help you out with most of that. Make sure to click Save once you've got all your changes in there so that they get applied. Lastly on this page is the SSL certificate. SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer, and this is encrypting the traffic that goes through on your site. So say someone were to submit a contact form and they're sending you their name and their email and their phone number. That's fairly sensitive information, and you don't want somebody that's on the same Wi-Fi network to grab that information out of the air as it's transmitted to your site, and then they would have their contact information as well. This prevents that kind of thing from happening. This is security for your website. By default, this should be on, and you want to leave it on if at all possible. There are sometimes cases where a custom domain will mess with this and it'll cause problems and it won't load properly, and in that case you might want to turn this off and save it, but in most cases you want to leave this on. And if you're unsure about whether it's on or not, you can send us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com and we can take a look for you. So that's all we're going to cover here on the site settings page. For the rest of the class, we're going to go over to pages, blog posts, testimonials, and areas. And at this point, I do want to pause and let you guys know if I'm moving too quickly or if there's something I didn't cover well enough, or if you're unclear on something, feel free to shoot me the message over in the chat window. I will be keeping an eye on that. I should hopefully see it out of the corner of my eye if you have any questions. Okay, we're going to go up to the top here and we're going to click on pages. This is where we're going to have a little bit of fun. This is where you can create custom pages. You can put essentially anything that you want on any page on your site. You can create as many custom pages as you want versus the eEdge site where you can only have one custom page. On Placester, you can have as many as you want. To create a new page, just starting at the top, you're going to click your plus sign to create a new page. This is going to be the same for blog posts, testimonials, and areas. No matter which of these you're working in, the plus sign is going to be to create a new page. Also, for all of these, to edit any existing pages or blog posts or testimonials or areas, you can either click on the title of that page or you can click on Edit over on the right. Here for pages, there should be 5 pages that were automatically generated when your site was created: the About, Blog, Contact, Listing Search, and Your Favorite Listings. About, Blog, Contact, and Listing Search are all pretty self-explanatory. That's the About page, that's the Blog page, that's the Contact Form page, and this is where they can search for listings. Your Favorite Listings is what's called a client profile type page. And what happens is if someone creates an account on your website, they click that register button up at the top, and then they favorite some properties, they save them. Clicking on this page would show them, excuse me, the list of all of the listings that they have favorited on your site. So that's your favorite listings as in the client, as in the website user, not your as in the agent. There is a separate page type that you can create that would be like your featured listings or your listings only, and we'll go over that in just a minute, but this your favorite listings is for the client. It's their favorites, not yours. Also, you can remove some of the pages. You can't remove the About page. You can't remove the Listing Search page. You can remove either of these from the menu on your site, so they're not as easily accessible, but the pages will still be there. Not sure why you would want to remove the Listing Search page, so I'm glad they removed that option there. That's half the point of your website, is you want people to be able to search for listings. So we're glad that you can't accidentally remove that page. We're going to go create a couple of pages, and I'm going to take you through the process and the different page types pretty quickly. So up here over pages, we're going to click our plus sign to create a new page, and we're going to go over the different parts of the pages you can create. The slug here is controlled by the page title, and slug just means address. Now, if you have a custom domain connected to your site, it will be your custom domain and then slash the rest of the slug. or you can use the kw.com domain / the rest of the slug. Either one would go to the same page. But if you're not using a custom domain, slug equals address. The slug is connected to the title, and I'm going to put in a test title here. And you'll notice as I add in the title, it's going to add that to the end of the slug. Slug equals page title, or excuse me, the end of the slug equals the page title. You can't have a different slug versus a different page title. They have to be the same because it's automatically generated by the page title. So whatever you put in here is going to show at the end of the slug. In the middle here, we've got the template. This is where you can create the different types of pages that you can create on your website. And we'll go through this whole list from the top. The default page template is the one that you're going to use most often. This is where you're going to create your own custom pages like buyer resources or seller resources, or we have a resource where we can add the This Month in Real Estate video to your website that'll automatically be updated each month. You can add a, what would you add there? I don't know, my philanthropy, I guess. If you want to show off where you donate and spend your time, you can do that. That's what the default page template is for everything that doesn't fit under one of these other page types. The About page has already been created. Agents Index, you'll notice as I hover my mouse past here, it actually jumps the highlight from About page down to Areas Index. Agents Index is an upgrade feature you'd need to contact Placester about. What you can do is create an Agents Index page, and anytime you see index, index means list. Equate in your head, index, list. List and index, they're the same thing. So what it would do is be a page of that's a list of agents that are on your team. So say you're the lead agent on a team and you've got 3, 4, 5 people on your team. You can create a separate About page for each of those agents on your team, and this page would list those different agents, and you can click through to the individual pages for that team member. Now again, this is an upgrade package, something you'd have to pay extra for. Excuse me. And you would want to contact Placester directly about that. We don't have any information about how to upgrade any of these packages. It doesn't go through us. It goes directly through Placester. Underneath Agents Index, we've got Areas Index, which is again a list of pages that you create under areas right here. So Areas Index means area page list. Blog Post Index already been created on your site. That was that blog page we looked at just a minute ago. Again, this is a list. Index equals list of blog posts that you create right here. Client Profile is also already created on your site. That was that Your Favorite Listings page that we talked about just a minute ago. Contact Page, again, also already created on your site. We don't need to create another one. Under that, we've got an option for Custom Landing Page that it also skips right over, just like the Agents Index. This is another upgrade feature that you need to contact Placester about adding to your site. This is where you can add a landing page for buyers or sellers or open houses or whatever that's integrated into the site. It's going to add it to the Placester CRM, which isn't super robust at this point, and it will also, if your settings are set up properly, it'll send that lead over into your eEdge database. We don't recommend paying for this upgrade package that includes the custom landing pages because we have a free option for you through Google Forms where we can set up a landing page on your site for either sellers or testimonials or open house sign-ins. We can add that to your site for free, easy to do. And what was I trying to say there? And you don't have to pay for this upgrade package. If you want more information about those landing pages that we can create for you, shoot us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com. I'm also going to send you the link to our support services page where you can find links to each of those as well as all of our other services. Okay, so that was the, where are we? Custom landing page. Underneath that, we have a featured listings page. This would take the settings that you've set over here under site settings for featured listings, and it would be a whole page of nothing but listings that meet your featured criteria. If you want to learn more about how to set your featured listings settings, you would go back to Placester 101, and once you got those settings set the way that you want them to for those listings showing on the home page, creating this featured listings page would be an entire page of nothing but listings that meet those criteria. So say you're a very high producing agent and you've got 30 listings under your belt right now, and the homepage only has room for 4 or 8 or I think 16 or something like that listings depending on which theme you've chosen, and you want to show all of your listings instead of just a couple on the homepage. You can set up this featured listings page, add that to your menu, and name it something like All My Listings or My Listings or something like that, and it will be only your listings on that page. Under that, we've got the listing search page, which is again already created on the site. Don't need to create another one. Under that, we've got an RSS feed index. RSS stands for, actually, I don't remember what it stands for, but what this is for is for getting, say you've got a blog or something on a different website, say you've got a blogger.com site or a WordPress site or a Active Rain blog, and you want to show those blog posts on your KW website powered by Placester automatically, so you don't have to copy and paste them into the blog post section of this site. This is how you would do that. You would go get the RSS feed from whatever blog platform you're already using, and you would want to contact the support for whatever that platform is. We don't have any information about how to get the RSS feed on different pages, or excuse me, different sites. Once you've got that RSS feed in there, you would just paste that into this box right here and then scroll down and save it. And it would automatically bring over the posts from that other site into this site. And you could name this page blog, and you could remove the other blog page, and it would just replace it instead of the existing blog page. Second to last one in this list is Real Satisfied ratings and reviews. Say you had a Real Satisfied account, which Real Satisfied is essentially Yelp for real estate agents. It's a review site. Say you had a Real Satisfied account, which I think we just found out was a paid service, so you may want to look into that with Real Satisfied. We don't have any other information about that. But if you had that account, you had some ratings that you wanted, that were in there that you wanted to show on your site automatically, instead of copying and pasting those into the testimonials section, you could connect your Placester site to your Real Satisfied account, and it would automatically bring those ratings over here instead of the testimonials that you put into this spot. And then the last option here is a testimonials index. Again, index equals list. So this is going to be a list of the testimonials that you add under this section. We're going to go back up to the default page template here just so I can show you some more about the additional parts of creating a page. We went over the slug and the template and the title already. Then we've got this page content section. Different page types may or may not have page content. If I go back to the testimonials index here, there is no page content section. But for the default page template, of course, there's going to be page content because that's how you're going to add whatever it is you're adding to your site. So this page, it could be, like I said, your buyer resources, your seller resources, your preferred vendors, recently sold, something like that. Now, we get the question a lot, what's the difference between a page like this and a blog post? Think of it like pages are more permanent fixtures on your site, things that are not going to be updated very regularly, and you always want to be able to find them in the same place, versus blog posts are a little bit more mercurial. Those are going to be changeable. They're going to be pushed down by newer blog posts. Blog posts are going to be probably kind of time sensitive, like spring cleaning tips is going to be pushed down by summer safety tips, is going to be pushed down by Halloween safety tips, that kind of thing. So older posts are going to be pushed down. They'll always be able to be found on your site. It's just you're going to have to click through more pages to find them, versus the newer ones are always going to show towards the top. Pages you can stick in your menu, or you can put them in a permalink, the slug right here, and they'll always be found at the same spot, and you're not going to be updating them very often usually. Down here in page content, you've got your what's called a WYSIWYG editor. What you see is what you get, WYSIWYG. That's what this type of editor is called. It's a WYSIWYG. And you've got your basic formatting options in here, bold, italic, underline, lists, indent. You can add links, you can add images, you can embed videos like from YouTube or Vimeo. Got your left, center, right justify, and you can add tables. You can also choose different formatting options in this drop down here. It gives you a preview of what it's going to look like. And then if you're feeling really adventurous and you know what you're doing, you can also do some HTML code in here for your page also. Once you've got the content in your page that you want, we're going to scroll down just a little bit, and this display full width checkbox is exclusive to when you're first creating a page. It's only before you have saved the page for the first time. I'm sorry, no, that's the next checkbox. Display full width is on certain themes, and not all themes, only some themes, and the Madison and the Madison Metro do support this. But on certain themes, when you check this box, your page content is going to go the full width of your site and remove the contact and the listing search form that's usually on the right or the left of the site. This is great for those landing pages that we create for you guys, like the What is my home worth, or the testimonial submission, or the open house sign-in. So it removes confusion. What am I supposed to be doing on this page? page, well, the only thing to do is to complete that form. So for those types of things, checking the box for display full width is great. Now, like I said, certain themes, and I believe like the Toronto and the Fremont, they don't have that capability. You'll check this box, but it won't actually show it full width. So you'll have to play around with which themes do and which themes don't. I know for sure the Madison and the Madison Metro definitely do. The one that only shows the first time that you're editing a page before you save it is this add this page to my menu. This one won't show if we were to save this page and come back to it, we wouldn't have this option. And that's pretty self-explanatory, add this page to my menu. When I click save, link to this page will automatically be added to my menu, so I don't have to go and copy and paste and whatnot like I would otherwise. So most times you do want to check this box for adding this page to your menu, but say it's like that open house sign-in form, maybe you don't want that available all the time on your website. You only want to show it while you're at an open house. You would just want to paste in the address of that page, and you don't want to add it to the menu. Under that, we've got a meta title and a meta description. These you should get very, very familiar with. Everything that we're going to create in this class has its own meta title and its own meta description. A meta title shows in two places. One place is up in the browser tab. You see where it says Placester right here, and over on the left, My KW. That's one place that the meta title shows. The other place is on search engines. If I search for Scott Leroy Marketing, eventually, come on, there we go. It's the blue link that displays on the search engine results. So you're telling the search engine what to show here as this link. You've got a soft limit of roughly 55 characters before the search engine truncates it with a ... like right here. Every search engine is a little different. Google truncates it right at about 55 characters. Yahoo might have more or less. Bing might have more or less. What's another one? Whatever other ones there are might have more or less, but it's about 55 characters. So you want your most important, most specific information to be towards the front of the meta title. And we're going to go over that in just a minute when we create an actual page. I'm going to do an example for you of what a meta title looks like. Under that, we've got the meta description. The meta description only shows in one place. It's actually on the search engine result page as well, and it's the gray text underneath the blue link for the search engine result. So you're telling the search engine what to display in this spot. You've got a little bit more leeway in this spot. You've got 155-ish characters before it starts truncating it. So again, you want that most important, most specific information to be up front, but you can be a little bit more verbose. You've got a little bit more room. Now, one thing about the meta description, this is not the place for you to load up quote-unquote meta tags. Meta tags are not in fashion anymore, haven't been for about 10 years. Search engines have gotten a lot more sophisticated as far as rankings, and meta tags are very, very, very low on the list for what's important to a search engine. In fact, meta tags can hurt your search engine ranking if they don't have anything to do with the actual content of the page. So you want to make sure your meta description is actually supposed to be a helpful, person-readable description of what's going to be found on your page before they actually click on the search engine result. Because again, actual real live people are seeing this search engine result right here. Excuse me, this, what's that called? Meta description. Not just the search engine is seeing this. Real people are seeing this. So you want to make sure actual people can read what you put in here. You wouldn't load this up with homes for sale in Orlando, property for sale in Orlando, real estate for sale in Orlando. You know, the same thing over and over, just slightly different with a comma in between. That's not what goes in the meta description. We'll talk more about what goes in there the right way in just a minute when we create the two pages that we're going to create for your site. Now that we've gone over those major parts of the page, we're going to create two index pages for your site. We're going to create a testimonials index, and we're going to create an areas index. The testimonial, remember, index equals list. So we're going to create a page that lists testimonials that you put into your site, and we're going to create a page that lists the area pages that you create on your site. So we're going to do the area index first, just because it's higher on the list. And for the title, we're going to call this, you can name it kind of anything that you want to, usually something like communities I serve, or where I work, or about the area, or about, you know, whatever the name is of the area that you work in. I'm going to call this communities I serve, just so it's a little bit more descriptive there. You can put page content here. You don't have to, but you can, and it can just be a short, like, see this list of places where I work, something like that, or learn about the areas in and around Orlando, Florida, with your local real estate expert, Scott Leroy. There we go. I sounded like Groove for a second there. Coming down here, we've got our meta title. This is where I'm going to show you the example of how this is a good way to structure this. Like I said, you want your most specific, most important information up front. You usually want to start with the actual title of this page. So we're going to call this Communities I Serve. Oops, I didn't mean to paste that. I meant to copy that. Communities I Serve. So we're going to paste that in here. And then we're going to do a separator character. We're going to do, I do a dash. You can also do like a colon. You could do a bar. You could do a slash, something like that. I like to do a dash here. And then this is going to be, you want to do what type of page this is. So this is going to be an areas page. And then you want your name here as soon as possible. Oops. And then a lot of agents put a contact form, a form of contact in the meta title. They put their phone number in here. Doesn't hurt anything to have that there. Just make sure that there's not anything after it that's more important that you want people to see. 321 236 2568. And then we've got another dash to separate. And then you want to do what can be done on your site, what the purpose of your site is, which is search for homes in Orlando, Florida. And then we'll do a separator and then something like your company name, Keller Williams Realty. Now, this is over 55 characters, I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure it's going to truncate it somewhere around search for homes. I don't know exactly where 55 characters is, but it's going to truncate it somewhere around here. So it's up to you whether you want to remove that phone number or move it after search for homes, something like that. You want to, again, you want your most important, most specific information to be up front, which is what we've got here. Under that, we've got our meta description, and we've got a lot more space here. We've got 155 characters, so about another 2/3 of space, about 3 times the space here. So this is, you can be a little bit more verbose, and for this particular page, I'm just going to copy the page content and paste it in here. Because that's a pretty good meta description. That's what this page is about, and it's a helpful human readable thing. For most times, you want to describe what the page is about. You want to make sure you put your name in there. You want to make sure you put in what your service area is in there, but you want to do it in natural language. Again, you don't just want to list everything comma, 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 comma. You want to do it in natural language and find excuses to use your keywords in there rather than just listing them comma, comma, comma. Once you've got those put in there, you can either save this as a draft so that it'll go, you can post it live on your site later, or we can save it right now and send it to the site, live to the site right now. We're going to go ahead and save it and send it live to the site. And it's going to pop up and say this page was added to your menu because we left this box checked, and it lets you know that you can rearrange the menu right now by clicking on Edit Menu. I'm going to ignore that and just close it. So now we've got that new page, Communities I Serve, and if I go over to Scott's site, I've got that new link up here, Communities I Serve. And if I click on this, I'll see that content there. Learn about the areas in and around Orlando. And if I had any areas, it would list them on this page. It would index them, list equals index. Okay, coming back here, we're going to create a new page. And we're going to create this testimonials index. It does this one by default because it's at the bottom of the list. We are going to create a testimonials index. You can name this, again, kind of anything that you want to, but you just want to notate what this page is. You can do this happy clients, you can do testimonials, you can do reviews. I'm going to name it From the Horse's Mouth just because I'm having fun and this isn't an actual website, so it doesn't really matter about the search engine rankings. But remember, the page title affects the slug. So whatever you put in the title, it's going to go in the slug. And then we don't have a box for page content, so we're not going to be putting anything in the content section here. We do want to leave the box checked for add this page to my menu. And then we've got a meta title and a meta description to add for this page as well. Remember, everything we create has its own meta title and its own meta description. So we're going to do a meta title of We're going to paste in the actual title of the page. Oops, copy, paste from the horse's mouth. These are testimonials. This is Scott Leroy. Going to do that phone number. Now you might have noticed that after testimonials, this is exactly the same as the other one. That's good. That's what you want to do. You want your meta titles to be consistent. You want to start with the page title, go to what type of page it is, and then you want the rest of it to be pretty much the same. You want to have the same information in the meta title. What information that is up to you, but you want to make sure that it's consistent across all of your pages. Under that, we've got our meta description. This would be something like here straight from the people who have worked with Scott, just how great it is to work with him to buy or sell a house in Orlando, Florida. Got my keywords in there. It's nice human readable language. That's a good meta description. Again, you can save this as a draft so you can send it live to your site later if you want to, but we're just going to save it and send it live now, and we'll close our menu notification here. So if I go back to Scott's site and refresh it, or actually go back to the home page, now I've got that new menu item from the horse's mouth, and this would list my testimonials that I've created. And it's not showing any here because there aren't any testimonials. That's what we're going to go to in just a minute. Okay, going back to our Placester interface, we're going to go over to blog posts here. And there are 4 blog posts that are automatically created with your site when your site is created. These are provided by Placester, but Placester will not be adding any more blog posts for you. Neither will Keller Williams International, neither will Scott Leroy Marketing. Any additional blog posts are up to you to add to your site. Now, as far as content for your blog posts, we actually have a, what's that called? 30-day challenge for content for your blog. I'm going to paste that here into the chat box. If you guys are watching this on a recording, just send us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com and we can send that to you. Let's see here. I think actually I forgot to send you guys something a minute ago when we were talking about the meta title and the meta description. We also have a 30-day challenge for search engine optimization, which includes meta titles and meta descriptions. And then we also have a full SEO guide that we can email you if you send us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com. Wanted to make sure to cover those. Okay. So creating a blog post is the same as creating a page. We're going to click our plus sign here to create a new blog post. And for the title, there we go. Title, again, affects slugs, so I'm going to call this a test blog post. And then down here is your content section. This is going to look just the same as the default page template. It's just the slug and the title are rearranged here. You can put whatever your content is here. Again, you can do pictures or videos or links, just like on a default page template. I'm going to go get some fake content here. I'm going to get some lorem ipsum text. This is some gobbledygook ancient Latin text that is from some old book that only really, really nerdy people can read anymore. I'm going to grab a couple of paragraphs here just to stick that in there to show you what a filled out page looks like. Where are we? Which is exactly what lorem ipsum text is for, to show you what a filled out page looks like without having any actual content. Now down here we've got a new section. We've got an options section. Everything we create from this point on, a blog post, a testimonial, or an area, is going to have an excerpt and a featured image. The excerpt is a short description of what's on this page without just rewriting the entire page. Now the excerpt is optional. You can leave it blank and it would just show the first several lines of the content of the page as the excerpt. And this is going to show on the blog post index page that's already created on the site. So if I go over to Scott's site and I clicked on blog, that's the page that it would show on. It's up to you whether you want to put an excerpt or not. I'm going to leave this blank just so that it can grab some of the first several lines of text out of the content here, and it'll show that as the excerpt. Under that, we've got our featured image. Again, this is optional, but it's also going to show on the blog post index page as well, and I'll show you what that looks like. There we go. This image of this couple and this interior picture and whatnot, these are the featured images for these blog posts. So this is where the featured image that we're working with here is going to show. So I am going to go ahead and upload a featured image. And we're in website class images and blog featured image. There we go. So I'm going to do this nice water scene here. Now this image I found when I was looking for royalty-free images, images that I can use for free without paying anybody, without getting any permission, without giving any credit. And we have a video here that shows where to find free images to use on your website. You can't just willy-nilly go to Google, search for what you want, and use whatever image you find on there. Those images are usually copyrighted. The person that took that picture or drew that drawing or whatever has a copyright on there because they are the creator, and if they found out you were using their image on your site without permission, they could come after you legally for fees for using their image. We had an agent we worked with a while ago who had an admin that wrote a blog post and used a licensed image that they didn't have permission to use, and they came back 5 or 6 months later and said, hey, you owe me $260 for using this image on your website without my permission. So you want to make sure to find free images to use on your website, and I just sent you guys the link for how to find those there. If you're watching this on a recording, definitely shoot us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com and we can send you that link to that video as well. Under that, again, we've got a meta title and a meta description. So I'm going to copy and paste in the title here. And this is a blog. And then it's from Scott Leroy. Got that phone number. What was that again? Search homes. Oops, there's a C in search. Oops, I forgot the Keller Williams Realty after that. Oh, one thing I forgot to point out about these meta titles, even though this is what you're telling the search engine to show as the blue link here and the description shows down here, it can take up to 3 weeks for that to show on the search engine. Changes you make on your site to those meta titles and meta descriptions are not instantaneously showed on search engines. Search engines have billions of pages that they scan all the time, and it may take several weeks for the search engine to come back around to your website and index that page and change the what's that called? The title and the description. So if anybody ever promises, I can get you to the first page of Google overnight, take that with a very, very, very large grain of salt. If they can do that, they're probably in the long run hurting your search engine ranking, or maybe they're doing something a little unethical. We're going to never promise to get you to the front page of Google overnight or in any specified amount of time, because it's an ongoing, fairly intensive, what's that called, endeavor. And we can help you to improve your search engine ranking, but we're never going to promise to get you to the first page, because there's a lot of competition out there, and you may be on there one day and not the next based on the indexing of the search engine. So remember, if anybody says that, take it with a very large grain of salt. Okay, where was I? Okay, for the meta description, we're just going to do this is a test blog post for the Placester 201 course with Scott Leroy Marketing. Now again, you have the option to save this as a draft to publish on your page later, and this is great for if you have a blogging schedule, which is something that we definitely encourage. It's covered in our 30-day challenge for blogging at least once a week, but no more, or excuse me, not any less than once a week. What am I trying to say there? At least once a week on the same time on the same day each week. So say your blog post time is Thursday at 2 o'clock, but you're writing this right now on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. You can save this as a draft, come back on Thursday at 2 o'clock, and then publish it. Excuse me. Now, one thing to point out is the Placester blog does not have the feature to automatically schedule blogs to be posted later. I know blogger.com does. I had a Blogger blog for a little while. I'm pretty sure WordPress does. I don't know about ActiveRain. So if that's a big feature for you, automatically scheduling blogs out, you may want to look at a different service and use that RSS feed index page to bring your blogs into the site rather than using the blog platform here in Placester. Now, Placester may have an upgrade package that includes that. You might want to contact them about that as well. I wouldn't pay for that service, but it's up to you. Each agent makes their own decisions. Okay, so instead of saving this as a draft, I'm going to go ahead and publish this. And I'll come back to the blog page on Scott's site here. And now we've got this new blog post with the new featured image, got our title here, test blog post, and for the excerpt, it just pulled in the content of the page. And if I were to click on the image or the title or read more, it'll take me through to the actual blog post. and that featured image shows up at the top here. Now you notice it cut off the bottom half. Unfortunately, there's not a way to work around that. If it looks good on the blog index page, it's probably not going to look as good on the actual blog page. So it's a trade-off there. You're going to have to decide which one you want to look better. Okay, so that's how you can create a blog post. Now we're going to jump over here to testimonials. This one's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We're going to click our plus sign to create a new testimonial. Again, we've got a title that affects the slug, so this is going to be Sally Seller, something like that. You can name this kind of anything that you want to, shocked at how quickly their home was sold, or never thought their home would sell, or, was it sold before they were ready to move out, something like that. You can title it kind of anything that you want. I'm just going to put the name of the referral that came in here. Under that, we've got the spot to actually put in our testimonial. This is the same WYSIWYG editor from the blog post and from the default page template. You can add all of those same things in here. I'm going to paste in my same lorem ipsum here just to have some content to put on the page. If we scroll down here, referrer means the name of the person who gave you this testimonial. So if you have their name or if they were anonymous, you would put that in here. I'm going to put anonymous, even though I have Sally Seller in the title, but you can put anything that you want to in here. Under that, we've got affiliation, which means what type of testimonial is this? Is this a buyer, a seller, a co-broker on the other side of the deal, a vendor, a mortgage provider, say it was your broker with some praise for you and the way you handled the deal, say it was an accolade you got from, I don't know, your local association of realtors, that kind of thing. That's what you would put in this spot. So I'm going to do seller. So this is Sally Seller. Under that, we have this checkbox here. On certain themes, including the Madison and the Madison Metro, you can check this box and it would show this testimonial on your homepage underneath the featured listings section. So it's up to you whether you want to check this box, and you can turn this on or off anytime. So you get a new testimonial that you want to show on your homepage instead of this one. You would check the box on that new one, uncheck the box on this one. So I'm going to check the box here just to show you what that looks like. Under that, we've got, again, an excerpt and a featured image. For the excerpt, it would, again, be a short description of what the testimonial is about. This seller was shocked to find that her home sold before she was actually ready to move out because Scott Leroy is such a great listing agent. There we go, something like that. And then again, we've got a spot for featured image. This is a great place for, say you were working with a couple here and you have their picture, you had their permission to take their picture and show it on your website with their testimonial. Again, you got to get that permission to do that. You could upload their picture here. Where are we? Testimonial. So got this nice picture of a couple. That's another royalty-free image that I found. So you could upload the picture of your buyer or your seller, or if they don't want to do that, you can actually even upload the picture of the listing that you worked with them to help them buy or sell. So if you don't have a picture of your client, the person that gave you this testimonial, great way to have a featured image is to show the listing image. And if it's your listing, it's automatically your image. But if it's a buyer that you worked with, you would want to get permission from that listing agent to show that picture on your website. Should be fine. It's already in the MLS, and I think even once it's in the MLS, it's public domain anyway, but double check. Under that, again, we've got a meta title. So this is, we're going to copy the title here into the title. This is a testimonial, and this is Scott Leroy. Got that phone number. Search homes for sale in Orlando, Florida, Keller Williams Realty. There we go. And then under that, we've got a meta description spot here. Now for blog posts and testimonials in areas, I usually recommend just copy and paste the excerpt as the meta description. Because if someone's seeing the excerpt, more than likely they didn't come through a search engine and they didn't see the meta description. And then vice versa, if someone is coming through the search engine and they saw the meta description, they're probably not going to end up on the index page to see the excerpt. So it's usually safe to use the same thing for both. And even if they did see both, they're probably not even going to notice. Again, you can save this as a draft and publish it to your site later. I'm just going to save it so we can send it live now. And if I go over to From the Horse's Mouth, again, this is my testimonials index page. Eventually. There we go. Now we've got this Sally Seller testimonial here. I can click on more to see the full text of that testimonial. There it is right there. And then also on the home page, it's going to show underneath the featured listings section. There it is right there, testimonials, featured testimonial. Now I'm not sure how many show on the home page here. It looks like at least 2, and it may depend on the theme how many shows there. So you'll want to keep an eye on that as you do some featured testimonials. Okay, last thing we're going to cover is areas, and it looks like we're going to have just enough time to do that. We might get finished a few minutes after 2, but hopefully not more than 5 or 6 minutes after 2. We're going to click our plus sign to create a new areas page, and this has a lot of different fields in here, so we're going to go over what all those are. Again, we've got our slug and our title, so this is going to be a test, area, and you notice that puts that in the slug there. Now when you come down to type of area, these are going to be not defined by the MLS. That's the next couple. So you've got county, region, locality, which is the same as city, town, township, corporation, whatever. They say locality because it's not always a city. It could be a town or a township or whatever. And then you've got postal, which is zip code or postal code in Canada, or neighborhood. Neighborhood is the most narrow. You probably want to start with locality or neighborhood. Most times you don't want to write about a county or a region or even a zip code because those are usually very large areas, and everybody and their mother has written about Orange County, California. Everybody and their mother has written about New York City, Manhattan, Brooklyn. Everybody's written about all that. Not everybody has written about excuse me, Richmond, Indiana. You've probably never heard of Richmond, Indiana, but that's where I am right now. Not everybody has written about Richmond, Indiana. And if you write about this locality, Richmond, Indiana, you might have the only content about Richmond that's not just a list of listings in that area. You might be the only person that has anything about what can be found in Richmond, what kind of amenities there are, what's close to this, what's close to that. Same for a neighborhood. Say you work on a lot of new construction. You sell a lot of new construction houses. If you write a neighborhood area page about all of the new construction that's going on around you, you might be the only content on the internet that's not just a list of those listings. It's a great way to brand yourself as that local expert. So if someone is searching for listings in this area and they come across a listing and it's in this subdivision, they want to learn more about, okay, what is this subdivision close to? What kind of amenities does it have? Does it have good schools? Does it have good safety? Are there street lights? Does it have security? Is it gated? That's the kind of thing that they're looking for. If you write all those things about that neighborhood, you might be the only one who has any of that information, and they're going to end up on your site. So I'm going to do a neighborhood here. Under that, the name of the area comes from the MLS. This is going to choose, if it will ever drop down for me, you would choose a neighborhood or whatever that comes out of your actual MLS. So, man, this is taking forever. We're going to pretend Summer Heights is the neighborhood I want to work in. Under that, we've got a default sort option. What happens is at the bottom of your area page, it's going to show listings from this area that you selected right here that are currently in the MLS. So how do you want to sort those? By price, by the number of images, by days on site, whether it's a brand new listing or an older listing, how many beds or baths, or by year built. So say this is a new development that you're writing about, so you might want to do year built newest. It's always going to show the newest listings in that subdivision that you're writing about. Say this is a historical neighborhood and you want to show the oldest built houses in that subdivision. You could do oldest here. Say this is a luxury area that you're writing about. You may want to do that by highest price. Say you're just writing about your city in general. You may just want to show the freshest listings that are in your city. All of that fun stuff, you can choose that, and you can change this at any time, the default sort. Under that, we've got a checkbox here for should this area be featured. That would be on our Communities I Serve page here on our areas index. Is this area going to be shown at the top of that page? By default, they're going to be alphabetical, but if you check the box for featured, it would show it above alphabetical. Now, if you have multiple areas that are featured, those featured areas would be alphabetical among themselves, and then it would start over with A for the ones that aren't featured. If that's clear as mud, let me know. Under that, we've got a slideshow excuse me, section. This slideshow is very similar to the slideshow on the home page, except there's no limit, as far as we can tell, for how many images you can upload. On the home page, you can only have up to 5 images, but on this one, it looks like you can have as many as you want. So I'm going to upload several images here so that I can show you what that looks like. And it does tell you right underneath the upload button here, the images should be 1600 pixels wide by 600 pixels tall. If you're unfamiliar with how to resize images, shoot us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com. We can get you some information about how to do that. Also, check out Placester 101, where I show you where we've got Placester's instructions for how to resize your images. There we go. So I've got 5 images here. I could keep uploading images if I felt like it. Under that, we've got our page content, and there are 3 sections of page content. We've got section 1 right here, then we've got a full width separator image, got a section 2, then 2 side-by-side separator images, and then a section 3 with no separator image at the bottom. So we're just going to paste in some lorem ipsum text here just to show you what it looks like. Go get the lorem ipsum here. Paste that in there. Under that, we've got, again, that full width separator image. It says the image should be 600 pixels wide. That's an at least number. If your image is wider than 600 pixels, not a big deal. But it needs to be at least 600 pixels wide, or else it's going to get blown up and look blurry. If it's wider than that, it'll just shrink it down. I'm going to use this image right here to separate these. That's a nice 600 pixel wide image, and it will separate section 1 and 2 nicely. Under that, we've got section 2. Got some more lorem ipsum text we're going to paste in here. And then under that, we've got 2 images. These are going to show side by side to separate section 2 from section 3. Again, it's got a 300 pixel number here. That's another at least number. If it's wider than 300 pixels, all the better. Going to do this one. There we go. And then we're going to do this nice cup of tea or coffee, whatever this is. There we go. And then we've got our section 3 subheader, and then our lorem ipsum text here. And then down at the bottom, there is no more images to upload here. Again, we've got an excerpt and a featured image. So this is a test area page for the Placester 201 class from Scott Roy Marketing. And while we're here in the excerpt, we may as well copy this, paste it in the meta description. We've got another featured image section here. You can use one of the images that's in your slideshow. You can use that first image. You can use any of these separator images. They don't necessarily have to be different. I'm going to go ahead and just use that first image from the slideshow. Where is it? There we go. There we go. And then I'm going to add a meta title. There we go. Test area. Gosh, everything's being slow. Oops. Okay, so we've got all that in there. And then again, we can save this as a draft to be posted later, or we can save it and send it live to the site right now, which we're going to do. So now if I come back to my communities I serve and reopen it or refresh it, now I've got that new communities I serve there. If I click on it, it'll show me the actual content of that page. And we've got that slideshow up at the top that we'll go through whenever it decides to load. Got our section 1 and our full filler text here. Got that full width separator image. Got our section 2 with our filler text and then those side-by-side separator images. Down here we've got a section 3, and then down here are those listings that are from this area that we selected in the MLS. Okay. Okay, so that is area pages, and that finishes us up for Placester 201. I want to get you guys a template here for area pages. I'm going to send you a link to learn more about area pages. And then also we've got a template for using area pages. We've got a pre-filled one that's basically you fill in the blanks with your content, and it'll be a good area page for your website there. If you have questions about area pages or anything that we covered today, definitely shoot us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com. We can help you with that. I am going to leave the recording open for another minute or two, just in case anybody has any questions. Feel free to shoot them over in the chat window. If you don't have questions, but you're curious about other people's questions, you're welcome to stay as well. And if you're not either of those things, you're welcome to just go about your day. Have a great day.